Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Poorly Educated podcast. Today in the news edition, where we read the headlines so you don't gotta sprain your eyeballs, it's November 5th, 2025, and America's running like my cousin's lawnmower, loud, smoking, and somehow still moving downhill. We got elections that kicked the president square in the poll numbers, a government shutdown old enough to vote, the Supreme Court asking whether tariffs count as taxes or just fancy theft, and a UPS plane that went from next day air to never again air. Buckle up. It's a full tank episode, even though gas is $5.29 and my truck's been running on Mountain Dew fumes since Tuesday. Segment 1. The Great Voter Rebuke. America yelled, "Y'all stop that." Well, turns out the voters gave the Trump team what Granny calls a whoopin' with explanation. Democrats stomped across the map like they were playing whack-a-mole, winning in New York, Virginia, New Jersey, and even pulling a fast one in California with some new fancy redistricting trick called Proposition 50. That's where they redrew lines so curvy the map looks like my cousin Darlene's eyeliner after 2 margaritas. The president blamed the fake media, the shutdown, and probably the moon's position in retrograde. He hollered on Truth Social that Trump wasn't on the ballot. Buddy, your face was on every gas pump, grocery receipt, and IRS notice. Believe me, folks saw you. Segment 2. The New York mandate, Mamdani makes history. New York City just elected its youngest, first Muslim, first South Asian mayor, Zohran Mamdani. Fella won more votes than a Yankees World Series ticket giveaway. Trump called him a communist because that's Trump's default setting, right between all caps and bankruptcy. Mamdani fired back telling Trump to turn the volume up, which is bold considering the man's already at 11 and blowing his own speakers. Folks, New York said, we like immigrants. We like rent control. And we don't like being threatened by a billionaire who left Queens 40 years ago. That's like your ex who moved to Florida threatening to take your bagels away. Segment 3. Virginia and Jersey say nope. Down in Virginia, Abigail Spanberger flipped the governor's seat bluer than a Walmart greeter's vest. She's the state's first female governor, probably powered by pure rage from furloughed federal workers who ain't seen a paycheck in 36 days. In Jersey, Mikey Sherrill kept the governor's mansion, despite Trump doing telerallies that sounded like your drunk uncle leaving voicemails at 2 a.m. Vote Jack Ciattarelli or America's over. Well, America voted Mikey, and apparently she came with free cannoli. Segment 4. Shutdown Day 36. Paralysis proudly presented by politics. Y'all, the government's been closed longer than my cousin Bubba's marriage lasted. 36 days. It's officially the record. Democrats are saying, extend the ACA credits. Republicans say, nah. And everyone else is saying, can we get the mail? 700,000 workers are furloughed. Another 700,000 are working for free, which I believe used to be called slavery before HR rebranded it. Head Start programs in 18 states just shut down, leaving 10,000 kids wondering why their classroom snack time turned into an unpaid internship. Meanwhile, Trump's yelling for the Senate to nuke the filibuster, and John Thune basically told him, bless your heart, but no. Folks, when Republicans start saying no to Trump, you know the gravy's burnt. Segment 5. Economy of anxiety. Jobs ain't jumpin', prices ain't droppin'. The economy's limpin' like a 3-legged mule. Only 42,000 private sector jobs popped up last month. That's less than my cousin's fireworks stand hires on July 4th. Inflation's supposedly at 3%. But that don't include eggs costing $7 and rent looking like a ransom note. Polls say 6 in 10 folks blame Trump's tariffs for inflation, and the other 4 are still waiting on a refund from Trump's steaks. Meanwhile, the stock market's smiling because McDonald's brought back snack wraps. I swear, America's economy is hanging by a piece of lettuce in a tortilla. Wall Street's celebrating while Main Street's selling plasma to buy gas. It's the circle of life, y'all. Sung by Visa. Segment 6. The Supreme Showdown. Tariffs, Taxes, and Textualists. Today, the Supreme Court heard Learning Resources versus Trump, where the president's folks argued tariffs ain't taxes. Chief Justice Roberts basically said, "Son, you're paying money to the government. That's a tax." Justice Sotomayor said she don't understand the argument, which is legalese for y'all crazy. Even Justice Gorsuch, Trump's own pick, warned about a one-way ratchet toward executive power. Sounds fancy, but in redneck. You're hogging the remote. If the court smacks this down, Trump's gonna have to find a new way to pretend economics is wrestling. Segment 7. The Mexico Doctrine, Neighborly Fire Drills. NBC says the White House drafted plans to send U.S. troops into Mexico to blow up drug labs. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum replied, no you ain't. Folks, we're one Taco Tuesday away from an international incident. Imagine Trump trying to invade a country that actually builds walls that work. He'd call it Operation Nacho Business, then claim victory when the border taco stands close early. Bless his heart. He thinks diplomacy's a real estate open house. Segment 8. Tragedy in Louisville. UPS Flight 2976 crashed yesterday in Louisville, killing at least 9 and hurting others. It's awful. Those workers keep our Christmases on schedule. The Worldport hub sorts 400,000 packages an hour. Now it's shut down. That means your next day delivery might arrive sometime next month by carrier pigeon. UPS says expect delays, which is corporate for hope you didn't order medicine. Between the shutdown and this, the only thing moving on time is bad news. Our hearts go out to those families, and our Amazon carts go back to save for later. Segment 9. Science and Culture, Smart People Still Doing Stuff. While Washington's playing possum, scientists are busier than June bugs on a porch light. NASA confirmed 6,000 exoplanets. Most of them still ain't got Walmart. In Antarctica, researchers found 6-million-year-old ice, which is also the age of the coffee in the Senate cafeteria. Neuroscientists mapped the brain like Google Maps for thoughts, so if mine shows recalculating, y'all know why. And in genetics, they figured out how to edit plants without the science guilt. Good news for folks who want seedless watermelons and soulless corn. Segment 10. Courts, Health, and Headaches. A judge just vacated parts of the Affordable Care Act's anti-discrimination rules, saying gender identity ain't covered under Title IX. So while Congress argues about insurance money, the courts are arguing about who counts as human. Another judge told the Department of Transportation it can't punish states for not helping with immigration crackdowns. Basically, no one's driving this bus, and the GPS just said, make a U-turn when possible. At least one judge ordered the White House to restore ASL interpreters at briefings, which is nice because we all need someone to sign what the hell is going on in real time. In conclusion, so what did we learn today, class? America's like a pickup truck with one headlight, 3 flat tires, and a driver yelling about tariffs while the dog steers. We got a shutdown that's starving kids' programs, a president fighting his own party, a Supreme Court wondering if he knows what a tax is, and a plane crash that paused Christmas. But hey, we still found ancient ice and mapped brains. So science is out there doing the Lord's PowerPoint. This ain't just a bad news day. It's a group project where everybody forgot the deadline. The country's going through a midlife crisis with no savings account. But we'll duct tape our way through it like we always do. Y'all hang tight. Keep your receipts. And if UPS can't deliver, maybe Amazon'll drop hope by drone. This has been the Poorly Educated Podcast, today in the news edition. We're out of coffee, out of funding, but never out of opinions. See you tomorrow, assuming the government's open and the internet still takes cash.